So I wonder for the average person who wants to get into it, to be good enough where you could even have momentum and a good flywheel where you feel like you're getting better, people are liking it, and it's enough momentum that you can justify keep going. I wonder if that's getting harder, and it's
I think
probably
it's
just
getting easier.
you think it's getting easier?
Yeah, for sure. Because you got to remember, man, we didn't have any of these tools 10, 15 years ago. Like when I was a teenager, even when I was, starting this gaming blog, like there wasn't really a mechanism for going viral like that. But I can tell you, like, I've seriously, I can't tell you how many emails I've gotten from someone who's like, I took something you said on a podcast, or I read your ebook on Quora or whatever, and I went and applied it. And 30 days later, I just got my first 100,000 views on an answer. I just got 1 million views on an answer. Like,
Interesting.
it's getting easier. The problem is that people just, we're talking about writing, and these are all of the writing, publishing, you know, best practices, growth hacks, like we're in that space. But the reality is that most people don't gain traction because of the layer that's underneath that, which is all rooted in self-belief.
Hmm.
It's
Right.
it's a confidence issue. It's a what are people going to think issue. Has nothing to do with the writing.
Right. Well, number one, I agree that having coached a lot of people from going from not publishing anything to publishing publicly, it's a really, really big step. And it's not just one limitation or
It's
fear that comes up.
multiple.
It's like a whole bundle of them. So I agree. And if you're not even in the game, you're not going to succeed. And most people aren't even willing to get into the game.
Yeah.
The counter side is, okay, if you look at the whole bundle of people, BuzzSumo had the numbers that I think in 2016, the median content online had 8 views or 8 shares, and
Mhm.
then 2 years later is 4 shares. And so there's more people creating content. So all the things that are making it easier to create content are also creating a lot more competition.
Mhm.
So, I just wonder if the people that you mentioned are outliers, but if you just take it as a larger bundle of people, if that is actually getting harder or easier. I feel like
Well,
it's getting
that's
easier if you're good and you're yeah, God.
so that's a really good point. Not to like nitpick here. I can tell we're both very like analytical minded people, right? But I think the variable that I would want to throw into that is, can we, instead of using, as our data source, the like every page on the internet, let's let's instead examine all of the pages that have to do with people that have been consistent more than the past 30 days. Because my point is, it's kind of like looking at it's like looking at a video game. Is you might have 1 million accounts, but what if 900,000 of them haven't been active in the past 2 years? Then your data is kind of skewed.
Right, right.
So I the it's hard because in these conversations, it's like, it's very difficult to come up with strategies or rules or best practices that literally apply to, like, hey, you could be a zombie of a human being, not ever do anything, and here's still how you succeed. It doesn't work that way. So
Yeah.
if we're taking people that are like, I'm actively playing the game, I'm being consistent more than once a month, now what? Then that's an easier conversation to have, you know?
Yeah. I can see that. I can see that's a really good point. And, I should say that about 2 years ago, I changed my approach where I was only doing blockbuster articles and that's all I was doing. But now I do 4 or 5 posts per day and I look at it like battleship game, uh,
Yep.
where you're doing a lot of tests and you get the benefit of every test. You build followers, you gain skills, but also occasionally you have these posts that take off, and that gives me confidence to invest more time into creating something more.